tremendous looking trophy.
Hello, welcome to Platinum Explosion, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Tom Blunt. Joining me, as always, Ashley, help me.
How you doing? Excited to be here to talk about PlayStation stuff. Right before they announce the showcase.
Yeah,
That's
do you reckon
this week, right?
Do you reckon?
I don't know. I feel like it won't be this week. I
don't think it'll be this week. I feel like it'll be next week because this week you've already got Disney, you've got Ubisoft.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want to have your own week.
Yeah, or you got the rumor of that Nintendo Direct as well floating around. So
that's true. Yeah,
got to play careful.
Happen though. You need to plant your flag and like, hey, this is when we're doing it. So maybe there'll be an announcement this week, but it won't actually be this week.
They usually only announce it like the week of, though. They usually like.
Yeah, but if it's like a big showcase, not a state of play,
okay,
then give a bit more lead time.
Yeah,
build people's anticipation, so they can be disappointed when the stuff they want isn't in there.
Like Infamous free.
What? There's no Legend of Dragoon remake? It's terrible.
No, that's what Blue Point's working on. Shout outs to that guy. This week in the trophy cabinet, gold trophy for The Last of Us Part 1, silver trophy for God of War News.
Only gold trophy for Last of Us Part 1.
So let's jump into it. I've been playing some of the old Last of Us remastered, also known as The Last of Us Part 1. Also known as The Last of Us. We remade the game from the ground up. Did you know?
Also known as The Last of Us Too Expensive.
The Last of Us is too expensive.
Listen to this week's Arcade Couch when we talk about.
Here's the long and short of it. This game is exactly what you would expect it to be. This game is nothing. If you've played The Last of Us before, if you've played The Last of Us a couple times before, by God, is this the same game? If you haven't played The Last of Us before, you should buy this game.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is the best way to play the game. You should totally play it. And as we've been talking about for weeks, months, when The Last of Us comes out and is a huge success on HBO, and then people who are like, fuck, I never actually played the game and I want to play it, and this is the one sitting on the shelf, this is the one you should be playing. However, if you've played the game before, I see no reason to rush out and spend your money on this game right now. Nothing to do with the price. Even if the price was cheaper, it's the same game. Unless you got a real inkling that you want to replay The Last of Us, I don't really feel like you should be rushing it. Like, there's nothing. The improvements here, visually, the way the game runs, sure, they're nice, but that's where the buck stops. Accessibility features, actually, definitely have more of those. That's great. But like, as far as everything else
goes, you couldn't play it before, you can now.
You probably can. This game has more accessibility features than The Last of Us Part 2, and that game had
a lot.
So that's saying something. But yeah, I mean, as someone who replayed the game and played The Last of Us Remastered just prior to The Last of Us Part 2, I definitely feel like I've played the game recently, and that was a couple of years ago, but I still feel like I've played the game recently. They've done some small things in here. The number one thing that's been shared around the internet, I feel like I've seen, is they updated the character model. I don't want to say why in case for spoiler reasons, but they've updated the particular doctor's character model for particular story reasons, so that's good. They've made some changes to some of the character models to, like, Tess is now a bit older,
more obviously older.
Or more obviously older, which is fine. Bill looks like the character model obviously looks a bit better. Like, overall, Joel, Ellie, everyone's character models look better. There's more foliage, noticeable foliage. Like, you're walking around an area and you'll notice there's just more grass and just general stuff hanging around, which is just adds to the overall feel of the world and the levels as you're playing through them. The enemy AI has definitely been improved. It's not the exact same AI that you get from the second game because there's still
it's not what you wanted, where there would be human versus clicker confrontations.
No, and there's still a bunch of stuff like, so, you know, how in The Last of Us Part 2 you can go full prone and like all these sorts of things. Like the gameplay of this game has not been majorly overhauled. Like, that's why That's why
Because, Joel's an old man. He can't get down that far.
maybe that is part of it. But I know they were talking about this being a major, like, from the ground up remake. It's a remaster on top of a remaster. Like, the game was remastered for PS4. This is them remastering it for PS5. And again, it's hard because it sounds like I'm being super negative, but, like, this is still one of the greatest games of all time, right? And if you haven't played it, you should.
If you were to review this, would you give it a 10? What did you give the first Last of Us?
I don't think I reviewed it, but I would have. So here's the thing: I reckon if I was thinking about it, so if I loved the first one. I loved this when it came out on PS3, right? I would have gave it. I reckon I would have gave it a 10 then. I would have probably gave the remaster a 10. I'd probably only give this like a 9 though. And I feel like that's
it doesn't have factions, right?
Does that sound right? I feel like it is also because
it's the exact same game, so it is.
It's the exact same game. The point dropping is simply, I guess, like in the whole
because you hate the price and you shouldn't be paying that much.
It doesn't have it is less of a package technically too. Like it doesn't have the multiplayer for people who care about that. Remaster did have the multiplayer. And then the gameplay, playing it in 2022, does feel a lot more dated. Like it definitely feels like the game, the highest selling point for this game, and I mean it always has been, is the story. The overall world atmosphere, the characters, all those sorts of things. They were always the highlight, but and the gameplay was always the thing that people were most critical of. But I definitely feel like playing this in 2022 as someone who has never had as many problems with the gameplay and used to stick up for it a lot when anyone talked about it. Like when it came out on PS3, I knew people who would shit talk the gameplay, and I used to like try and stick up for it then, and all this sort of stuff. But playing it now, it is like there is a lot of like very like the gameplay design does feel old because it fucking is old. Like there's no way around it. So, however, I still think it's one of the greatest games of all time and the game that everyone should play. But yeah, I'd probably go like I'd probably be around a 9. I'd still just my review I can't be bothered doing a review because I can't be bothered playing the fucking game anymore, to be honest. And it's just it's just from a simple fact of I've played this game several times. I really like the game. I played like 6 hours or whatever of it, and I'm like, yep, it's still The Last of Us. Like, there's nothing major here, and the only reason I don't want to really can't be bothered playing more is just because I got other shit to do. There's new games out. There's games I haven't fucking finished. I want to go play. Like, I'd rather at this point go finish playing Cold Land than play more The Last of Us.
That's fair. That Cold Land's a great game. I just find it interesting. Obviously you did a review for Death Stranding, and then you did a review for Death Stranding PC, which is pretty much the exact same game. What's the difference?
I haven't played that several times. I only played that once.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Did you get to a point where is the DLC separate or is it in-game?
It's still separate.
Okay, yeah.
Still in the front menu, still sort of suggested to play it after you've finished the main campaign. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing.
I think this was always very much a niche project.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be it wasn't necessarily going to be for everybody. It's a case of people who have never played The Last of Us before, people who love The Last of Us and want to replay it again and again and again. And there's definitely an audience who replay the same games over and over again and love doing that. And then obviously like setting it up for the show. So,
yeah. And I was enjoying playing
I'm sure it does what it was meant to do.
I don't even know what that is.
It's meant to be the prettiest version of the game on PS5.
It's just they've got a copy out now that is the best possible version of this game, which I think is...
I'm assuming it runs smoother as well, right?
Oh, yeah, it runs way better. There's a plethora of like old PlayStation games these days, old modern games. There's a plethora of bloody options. You can pick between like 4K, 30 frames, performance mode that targets around 60 frames, runs at 1440p. If you've got a TV like mine, a 2.1 HDMI enabled 120 hertz TV, there's like a weird 40 frames target mode where it's at 4K as well, and all these other options and stuff. So like there's plenty to play around. I'd suggest always playing in performance mode because I really don't feel like the graphical uptick between the 2K visuals to the 4K visuals with a literally losing 50% of the frames is at all worth it. But you do you, boo, I guess. But yeah.
I think the other thing is obviously this is the version that's going to come to PCs, which I feel like is going to be where they're probably going to make
a lot more money,
the most sales.
A lot of people who haven't actually played it there,
yeah.
Whereas most people have the hardcore PlayStation fan base have probably already played it.
The Last of Us, yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it sounds like I'm being really negative, but I'm trying not to be. I'm just trying to be like the realist of me is like this is a fucking great game that is going to be great for people who haven't played it. Like, you know, I don't know how else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you said kind of the same thing about like the Mass Effect collection.
I mean, any of those
other remakes like that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, these are great games,
or
but
remasters,
if you've played these games before, or in this case, The Last of Us, if you've played this game before, just I really don't see like there's any reason to run out and rush to play this. Unless you got an like, if you could just wait until you're like, oh, I feel like playing The Last of Us. Like, if you're someone, you know, there's no reason to rush out and play this. Just wait until The Last of Us fucking part 3 is coming out, or so. I don't know. Like, and then play this version, play part 2, remastered. That's probably a thing by then. And you know.
I do like that the boxes now match up for part 1 and part 2, except obviously there's no PS5 version of part 2 yet. Down the line, dual box set.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised.
That's got to be a thing.
I mean, it's funny. Like you play the opening of the game, and you know, like where it cuts before you get the opening credits. Now it pops up The Last of Us Part 1 instead of just The Last of Us, and you know,
part 2.
So,
or Last of Us,
yeah. So there's stuff, but yeah, overall, it's The Last of Us, fantastic game. Play it if you want. I don't know. I don't really care. It's fine. Do whatever you want.
You sound so negative, even though you're not trying to.
It's just such a nothing project to me, you know. And it has been since it was announced. Is the thing, it's hard to get excited. Like, it is cool that it's out there.
Do you think it's a cash grab then?
No, I don't think it's a cash grab. I feel like it's a vanity project. I don't feel like it's them attempting to cash grab upon people. I definitely feel like it's a vanity project because they love this game so much that they want to make sure that the best version's out there. Like,
do you have the same criticism of 4K remasters of different films?
No, but I'm sure I could, like, if you showed me like a 4K restoration of some movies, I'd probably have the same reaction. Like, I'd be like, it's fucking great. I watched it 2 months ago. Like, you know,
okay.
It's the.
But there's an audience for that.
There's totally an audience for that. I mean, I pick up 4K Blu-rays of really old movies and stuff every now and then that I haven't watched for ages, and I watch it and I'm like, fuck, this looks great. And if you haven't played The Last of Us since it literally released on PS3 and you go play this now, oh my God, you're going to have your mind blown. But if you played the remaster already, I feel like you've had the incremental jump. You know? This is literally, I felt that, yeah, that's probably a better way. But this is for people who have not played the game since the original release or have never played the game before. That's, I feel like, who would benefit the most for this. If you played the game within the last couple of years, like I did, prior to The Last of Us Part 1, and you played the remaster, you're not going to get as much out of this. You're good. I reckon you're good. Let's get into a little bit of news I got for this week's PlayStation stuff. So firstly, the PlayStation Plus premiums games have been revealed that are coming this month. Your extras and deluxe, I forgot for a second what it was called, extra and deluxe tiers. So it says America's and Europe's on this PlayStation Lifestyle article, but I don't know, give or take for what you're going to get here in Australia. I don't want to read it all because there's fucking hell. There's so many fucking games on this list now. It's ridiculous.
I mean, the big ones.
Let's say the big ones. You got Sly Collection available, Toy Story 3, PSP.
Well, that's not going to come to.
Yeah, Siphon Filter 2, that's up. I saw that the other day. Fuck yeah, let's go. Got to finish the first one. Thieves in Time. Yeah, that's not coming. No, that's a PS4 game. No, actually, yeah, I think that's.
No, the Sly Collection and Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, I imagine, are not coming to Australia because they are PS3 games.
Is
So they're
Thieves in
purely
Time?
for the premium.
I thought PS4 was the Thieves in Time. Oh, no.
No, I'm looking at the PlayStation blog. So
Fuck
it lists
me
PS3
up.
games.
All right.
So it'd be Toy Story 3, Kingdoms of Paradise, never heard of that game, and Siphon Filter 2.
Yeah, Sunfield 2 is the banger.
Yeah, that's coming to premium. Well, those are the classic ones. On the premium side, you've got like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, Rayman Legends, Motocross Energy, Chicory, Spiritfarer, Watch Dogs 2, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Deathloop, which is an interesting one.
Deathloop.
Yeah. Coming to the PlayStation subscription service.
Even though it's on...
Oh, you know what this could mean, which would make me very happy. If they're doing a showcase and they're showcasing the games coming to PlayStation Plus Premium, you know, they got a Deathloop trailer.
I don't know why you would say that would make you happy. That's disgusting.
Just continue the meme, you know. It's been so long since we've had a Deathloop trailer.
The only game amongst all the games amongst all this that I think I actually brought Chicory and never played it. But anyway, Chicory I'd like to play one day, hopefully. Siphon Field 2, obviously, but I'd have to finish the first one. I reckon I'll slowly make my way through these PS1 Platinums over time. And Spiritfarer is something I always wanted to play, but that'd probably be low in the scale of things for me personally. How about you?
I mean, Assassin's Creed would be interesting, but you know, I've had Valhalla on my PS5 for a while and never gotten around to it. Although maybe now, because you know I finished Cult of the Lamb and there's nothing in the immediate future. I don't think. Sorry, maybe I'll jump into it. Although Origin would be probably a better starting point, I would imagine. And yeah, Spiritfarer was one I wanted to play. You know, maybe Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That'd be cool to play.
Does it have online? I actually don't know.
I believe so.
Because I played it all by myself. I think I got the platinum or close to the platinum. And I did that all playing solo somehow. I was fucking obsessed with that game when it came out. All right. God of War.
You've also got the essential games for this month.
Oh, yeah. Hit me with those. I forgot about those.
Need for Speed, Heat, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and Toem.
Yep. Tom's the pick. Yeah?
Yeah, probably.
What are you going to pick? Need for Speed?
I mean, no. Probably Grand Blue Fantasy. That looks like it could be interesting.
Isn't that a fighting game?
No, it's like it's an RPG.
Is it?
It's an RPG with a unique fighting style.
Nah, Tom's the pick. Play Tom. I gave it like an 8.
Yeah.
You take photographs?
It's like Pokemon Snap, but without Pokemon, right?
It's like Pokemon Snap about there's like puzzles you got to solve. Like, you know, take photos of certain things and find items for people, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cute. Play that one. That's a wholesome game. Play that. That's my pick of the Essentials games for the month. Play that shit. God of War Ragnarok got a little bit of snippet of gameplay released because Game Informer is running a cover article this month, which is kind of cool. We got a sneak peek of it's a very short combat clip that they show off in this video. However, it's kind of cool to see some actual gameplay for a game that's apparently
it's coming out.
Apparently
2 months' time.
Coming out of shit. So they talk about how you've got like all these different like special attacks in there. You can hold down triangle to activate this like special attack depending on if you have the Blades of Chaos equipped or his
Leviathan Axe.
Yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck is that thing called again? Leviathan Axe, there you go. And he now has a shield too, so he can fuck shit up. What is it? It says something about shield here. Where is it? Additionally, Ragnarok will apparently bring a big revamp to Kratos' shield, with Game Informer offering details on both new Dauntless and Stonewall shields. The former gives access to a devastating smash move that can toss and stun enemies when a player parries an attack at last possible moment. The Stonewall shield, meanwhile, is too heavy for parrying, but steadily builds a charge each time it's struck by an enemy, and this can unleash a powerful pulse able to knock foes off their feet. The trade-off, though, is that Kratos becomes more susceptible to block breaking attacks the more charge that is stored. So I feel like you've got two shields that play either to people who hate parrying or love parrying. That's the that's the, one's there to be built around people who are quite happy to get the powering down and combat and counterattack and stuff. And the other one's like for people who are like, no, I just want to hold the block button and, not take damage for a little bit. That sounds great. Yeah, anything that stands out to you in this very short gameplay clip that we got released?
Looks like more God of War.
Sure does.
Sure does. Some elemental effects and that kind of stuff. But yeah, not a lot to go off here.
No.
Other than it means the game is closer.
Does
they're
it?
starting to show off gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy that they're doing it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird that. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
It's a bit old fashioned.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Which that's why I sort of stopped myself, because I was like, this is kind of weird. But I was like, no, this stuff used to happen all the time. So,
yeah. It still does happen. Obviously, there's the IGN firsts.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they're ever for as big games, or if they are, they're for games that do have trailers or more footage of readily available. The thing with God of War is that we haven't seen anything at all, and for ages, and now the Game Informer is getting this first look and stuff, and it's such a big game. So, yeah, just reminds me of old school marketing stuff. Which, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just funny, just interesting to watch.
Also, tie in to God of War. They had a new God of War trailer, starring Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I saw that pop up this morning. I forgot to click on it. What is that? Is that an actual thing?
It's just them. It's just them going in on a small adventure to get the Leviathan X.
Is that actually a marketing tie-in? What's the?
I think it just happened to be Rick and Morty doing an ad for God of War. But that's it.
Who owns? Isn't Rick and Morty owned by?
It's a Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, yeah. So multiverses. Yes, that's odd, right? It's a bit weird.
It is odd, but it's a thing.
It's a thing.
I feel like they've done Sony ads before, though.
Have they? I don't remember any. But also, apparently, I don't watch these. I just scroll past them and go, "Oh, I'll watch that later," and then totally forget. So that's how my life works. Do you just type in Rick and Morty? If you typed in Rick and Morty,
they did do a PlayStation 5 ad.
Okay, right.
So,
because I was like, if you typed in Rick and Morty Sony, I was fully expecting it to be like, "Oh, I can see it's the the one from this morning."
Yeah.
Who'd have thought? All right, last news story for the week. Kotaku writes, Microsoft lets Sony have several more years of Call of Duty as a treat. According to The Verge, earlier this year, Microsoft's Xbox boss Phil Spencer made that commitment to PlayStation boss Jim Ryan in a written letter, saying that Call of Duty wasn't going to disappear off the PlayStation storefront anytime soon if Microsoft's acquisition of Blizzard Activision is approved by regulators. Quote, good calls this weekend with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honour all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part to our industry and we value our relationship, said Phil Spencer on Twitter in January 20th. And he also said, in January, we provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature and content parity for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract. An offer that goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements, said Phil Spencer to The Verge. While exactly how long several more years might be is unknown. PlayStation players who feared that the COD franchise would become Xbox exclusive alongside the likes of Bethesda's upcoming space action RPG Starfield can breathe easy at least for a little while longer. How long do you reckon a couple of years is? Literally just a couple of years, or just a few years? Just 2 years?
3-4 years, maybe.
Yeah. And surely,
especially with their current model, what we think they're gonna slow down the production of Call of Duty titles. So,
do you reckon after that it is just exclusive though? With the whole.
I guess it just depends on sales. If it's still selling really well on PlayStation, it'd be hard to not keep that money. You know what I mean? Keep that deal going. I don't really expect Call of Duty to go 100% exclusive to Xbox. It's just too big of a franchise and too much money involved.
It's hard to say. You'd have to wait potentially these couple of years and I feel like reevaluate sort of how the franchise and everything. Because for all you know,
obviously you'll see what the player base does over the next few years, because you would assume Call of Duty would come to Game Pass day one. So are people just going to...
Are people just going to switch anyway?
Are they going to switch over these years, and you see the PlayStation sales dwindle, and you're like, now we can go full on Game Pass because the major amount of the play base is on Game Pass.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, well, it doesn't even matter. Or the other thing is, crazy thought, what if Call of Duty just actually, over the next few years, doesn't become anywhere near as big as it just
as it once
drops and never regains that popularity?
I mean, it's been going that way, right?
Yeah. I know to say that, it's like, whoa. Years ago, they would have been like, whoa. No way. But I mean, the last few entries
haven't set the world on fire. You know, the model's kind of been moving towards these battle royales, or what's the word that they keep using to describe like division games and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't know, like
live service games.
Yeah,
that's where the model's kind of been going these last few years. So, and PlayStation's doubling down on those, so maybe they're hoping that this is what's happening.
PlayStation's already working on their own free-to-play live service shooter game, so they're prepared for the loss of Call of Duty. Yeah, true.
Several from what we understand. Yeah,
they're prepared for one of them to fail.
Yeah,
hopefully one of them succeed. So. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of Platinum Explosion. There's no any comments, questions, concerns you've had about anything happening in the world of PlayStation this week, either by tweeting at us or joining our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter or explosionnetwork.com/Discord. If you like this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page, explosionnetwork.com/support to donate as little as $1 and help keep the mics, lights, and website running over at explosionnetwork.com. And until next week, remember, every trophy counts.